Hi there, and welcome back to a very special episode of The House Nerds. I'm David Lawson.
And I'm Jennifer Morris.
And we are here in lovely North Texas at my home.
Face to face.
I can't believe it. We were doing the math.
Surprise!
And it's been, I think, over a decade since we were in the same place at the same time. Jenny and her husband were driving across the country and decided to grace us. It's very nice to see her.
It's nice to be here. I'll tell you, you've got an amazing home here.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's a lot of heart, a lot of design elements that we're going to talk about. I'm hopeful.
Yeah. So last time we talked about the land and paying for the land.
Right.
And then paying for the construction.
Right.
But before you can do that, you kind of need to know what you're going to build. And that's where the design comes in.
Right. The bank's going to require specs of some sort. And then they're going to do a pre-appraisal based upon those specs. So it's important to have that design all nailed down.
Yeah. And we want to make sure that it fits the neighborhood. It's not too big, not too small, but it also fits the environment.
And fits you.
And fits you.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's the most important part, right? Like, we want to make sure that the house reflects your personality, your needs, your wants, the type of environment that you want to create. And I think you guys have done an excellent job here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about the different ways that you went after design. I know when I walked into your home, I felt this sense of just openness, calm, peace. It was very inviting.
And you know that my wife has so much to do with that.
Oh, I know. But the simplicity was incredible. I love simplicity, and it's beautiful.
So when you walk in, the front of our house is a farmhouse. Mm-hmm. And we really wanted that simple kind of country feel, being out here where we are in the middle of the oaks and on this beautiful body of water. But because we're on this water, we kind of needed a lake house on the backside.
Right.
So we've got that big overhanging porch and places where we can grill and entertain. On the front, very simple, bring you into the home. But, you know, there's so much of the philosophy goes into designing the house. It's not just what style do you want. And I love talking about style, and we can talk about farmhouse and country and contemporary and all that stuff.
Right.
But it's how you're going to live in the house.
Right. It's so important. You know, do you want to have a place where everybody comes to? Or are you looking for everybody to have their own separate nook in the home? And in your home, you guys have a value for doing family together.
That's right. And that philosophy influenced how we design the house. And so I want to find out how other people want to live and put that into the house so that they can enjoy it the way that they most want to.
Yeah, so again, we talked about this previously. You can go out to the internet and buy, designs that are pre-done, but oftentimes you see people trying to offload them because they don't really reflect them, or they want to make subtle changes, and those changes add up.
Right.
Every single change that you make adds up. So I love the fact that you want to hear what people desire for their future, for their home, for their living space, and be able to create and design plans around that.
Now, we still want to create plans around what the bank will see as value. People are going to spend so much time and energy and money in building a house, and we hear all the time, I'm never going to move, this is my final house.
Right.
Well, your kids are going to sell the house. Sorry to break it to you, but
the kids or the grandkids,
something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so there has to be value not only for that down the road, but also for the bank to give you the money to build the house. Yeah. And so while we have places like a homeschool room,
right,
it's not a homeschool room on the plans. It's a family room.
Right.
We have a room for the kids to have computers, but it's a study. And so those things exist, but the way that we use them might be specific to our family. I was doing a project in Dallas, a very large house, over 3,000 square feet, and the family wanted multiple offices. And
right.
that fits their lifestyle, and that's perfect. But at the same time, that may not be what the bank is looking for. So I encourage them to add a couple of closets so that those look like bedrooms.
Yeah, from a value standpoint, there's just more value in bedroom space with a closet versus an office. Most families, when they're looking at property, they're looking at bedrooms and bathrooms.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that it is an office and that they can use it and it still fits their family. And so we want to merge those two. Sometimes they seem to be conflicting elements, but they're not. We can make them work together.
Yeah. that's why you need a great designer to do that for you, to be able to blend spaces as you desire, to take in what you're wanting to create and actually put it on paper. One of the other things that I think is so great is, when you buy a piece of land, for instance, your land is sloping, and
Yeah.
you need to bring in an engineer to
Right.
talk about drainage, and how do you design that drainage so it doesn't stand out like an eyesore, but actually fits in with your design.
Right, and so the civil engineer might be involved, and that's the person who's going to help design the drainage, and then there's a structural engineer
Right.
who's going to help make sure that foundation lasts the test of time so that your house could be around for generations. If you want to, the framing plan, all of that stuff goes into the structural engineer. When you buy a piece of property, you get the survey,
Right.
which is the boundary markers, and that's really important as we lay out a house and make sure that it faces the direction to get the light and all those things. We also have to look at the topographic data and figure out how this house is going to merge into that environment.
Yeah, it's one thing to have a designer who is going to conceptualize what you want, but being able to work with an engineer and to put all of that on your plans to submit, it's very important that there's great understanding and education around
Yeah.
what goes into the engineering portions of creating plans.
I get to educate a lot of my customers are first-time home builders, and so
Yeah.
we get to go through that process together. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, you've done an excellent job here. Your family's
Thank
done
you.
an excellent job. I know it's been a labor of love for sure, but I'll tell you, it's gorgeous, and you've done a great job blending lake house and farmhouse and living spaces, and it's just awesome.
Well, thank you for coming by. It was so awesome to
I'm
see you.
so happy
Please,
to be
let's not make it a
here.
decade next time,
I
all right?
know. Well, okay, let's do that. It's great to be with you guys too. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.